Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boisterous coming to you some Platinum League Pandemonium out of the map Boisterous Plateau. Spine down in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have Dswarm as the red Zerg, and up here in the top right-hand corner, we have Hiep as the blue Zerg. And I managed to not fuck up and not say Kadorik's name because he's not here today, so I didn't have to. So ha, fucking solved the issue by just not including him, because I think that's a good solution for me. It's a good way to go. Looks like we're gonna have a 7 pool right now coming out from Hiep. Very, very interesting. Bad strategy overall, I would say. You know, not the best. However, definitely one of the more interesting strategies in a ZVZ game, especially in this point of the meta, especially cross-map on Boisterous Plateau, when you really don't have any chance of scouting him before the 7 pool starts. Because on Boisterous Plateau, it doesn't matter whether they're here or here. The rush distance is absurd on this map. You start here, and then you like trudge across the center of the map, and you either move up or you move down. There's really not that much of a difference between the two. However, you know, the Dswarm is, of course, in the better position. I would not be surprised to see this just fail outright, because Dswarm is probably going to go for a 14 pool. Probably. I would say most likely, as most players tend to lean towards that position. He might go for a 14 extractor, 14 pool, but usually players don't really get their extractors that early. Unless they're, I don't know, and they really don't. I can't even think of a scenario where you would. And oh my god, is he gonna 15 hatch? Now Dswarm, ordinarily I would love you for this, but it's ZVZ. Now of course I should still love you for this, but okay, alright, he was just 16 pooling. Like a true boss. We do have 6 Zerglings on the map, and it looks like he is going to know the exact position of his opponent. However, Dswarm is probably gonna have his own Zerglings at least close to finishing, and he is going to have full scouting information on these 6 Zerglings moving out across the map, and he is going to get an accurate number check on all of the Zerglings that are ever going to be pumped out ever, just with this Zergling, or just with this drone, so long as he does not run it back to his base. Do not run it back to your base. Just keep it there. Keep tabs. Alright, let's see. Is he going to get taken out? Nope. It's going to see those 2 Zerglings. It's going to see these 2 Zerglings, and that's basically, that's all in. That is completely all in for Hiep at this point. He really needs to do a crap ton of damage here, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can pull off. It looks like these Zerglings are going to be cascading into the base, and here they come. 2 Spine Crawlers are now down. However, one of them goes down. If the cancel does not get off, there is a, it was almost a good magic box from those drones, just not quite there. It looks like these Zerglings are now sniping off the second Spore Crawler, and oh my god, the Spine Crawler gets taken out yet again. Are there any Zerglings on the way? There are Zerglings on the way. There is also a Queen on the way for Dswarm, and as soon as those Zerglings finish and that Queen finishes, I do not think that this is going to do any more. Let's see, how many workers has he killed? He's killed down 4 workers. That is quite a few. However, the worker count is still strongly in Dswarm's favor. Let's see, it's dropping to 10, 9, 8. Oh, this might actually be not so good for Dswarm. He's down to 5 workers. There is the Queen. I would not anticipate any further losses. However, this is going to be a very awkward position, because he does not know if his opponent has pulled off the gas on this Zergling production. And Hiep has, of course, not, because he's a bit of a dickhead. So there is going to be a lot more Zerglings on the way for Hiep. However, with these Zerglings and with the Queen, there should be actually absolutely no issue. And some nice micro from Dswarm, managing to keep this little tiny Zergling just barely alive. He's like on death's door, but that's okay. It would appear that Dswarm is starting to go back into his drone production. However, Hiep has managed to take him out as far as drone production goes, and Hiep is now building up quite the large army. He has an extractor on the way. There is no base building up behind this. Even though I would say that, honestly, if you're going to go for such a risky early pool, just build a base. You know, build your 12 Zerglings, attack with them, build a natural. You know, just get it, because that is just a very effective way to go. And we see Dswarm's position. He is in a very, very awkward spot. He saw the amount of Zerglings that were here just purely because of great Overlord positioning. However, even if you see just 12 Zerglings, it's still not a force you want to move out against, because you really don't know what's in your opponent's base unless you manage to suicide an Overlord, which honestly people don't do that early in this game because it's not that smart to do. And I just realized I'm saying honestly a lot, which is a bit of an old habit of mine that I tried to quash, but apparently I did not manage to do it. I'm hoping that my, you know, jumping around on the screen is a little bit lower, because people have been complaining about that, and then I start watching the games and cringing because I jump around on the screen a lot, and I'm kind of sorry about that, people. However, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Okay, we do have Hiep now spawning in more drones. And it would appear that Hiep is managing to take the economic lead. He has 14 trons to his opponent's 13. At the 7-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen, ZVZ. We have a little bit of a pack of Zerglings moving across the center of the map. And let's just follow these guys for a little bit, because this is kind of an interesting strike. At this point in the game, you know, Dswarm, he way more Zerglings than his opponent. Actually, not way more, but one more and a queen. That's way more Zerglings. Screw it. And it would appear, actually there's 3 more in the queen. Where are the other 2 Zerglings? I don't know. Okay, well, it would appear that these Zerglings are moving in, and they are going to be attacking the hatchery. Oh, this is quite a bit of damage that's going to be done to this hatchery. At least 200, oh my god. Oh, this hatchery taking a bunch of hits. Is it going to get canceled? Oh, it does get canceled, and that is very effective. That is worth the lives of almost every Zergling here. 75 minerals and just a little bit, actually quite a bit of time, because he managed to cancel it about halfway through its building, or not, about third of the way through its building cycle, which is like 33 seconds of time that was invested into a building that was never hit fruition, which is very, very key and extremely annoying for Hiep to have to deal with. And at this point, the players are just so even. They entered into such a passive mid-game because neither player really took the economic advantage out of that opener. Dswarm, we saw him not go for anything really too greedy, which was very intelligent because he got swarmed like a moaf. But out of that position, really, if he managed to put Spinecrawler just here and then defended it, because, you know, it's here in the middle of his mineral lines, he would have done a much better job. It looks like we now have quite a few Zerglings streaming across the middle of the map because Dswarm's original army got cleaned up. And this is going to be a little bit nasty. This is going to be difficult to defend. I don't know why he's sending his Zerglings down his ramp. You do not want those Zerglings in that position. And here comes the scouting Zergling, and he's going to get killed off. And Hiep would appear to be getting ready to posture his way on back, as Dswarm has an equal Zergling number, and usually you don't want to attack on home turf with, you know, even numbers of Zerglings, because the reinforcements can come at any second, and you really do not know. We have an Evo chamber that just popped, or no, that was Banelings that just popped after Dswarm. I'm a little bit of a fool, however, that's okay. And we are going to see a couple of Banelings probably going to morph in right about now, and there are 2 Banelings entering the field, and these Banelings are going to be extremely effective should this force ever come, because Zerglings don't suck versus medium amounts of roaches, whereas Banelings are amazing versus large amounts of Zerglings because they just destroy stuff. So if these Banelings can manage to get to land their hits on these Zerglings, the Speedlings should be able to do a very reasonable job to clean up the roach numbers. Roaches are reasonably effective, but they're not anything special. And if it was me, I would probably be building an Evo chamber right now just to get the +1 ground melee attack. But that's because I really prefer Ultralisks in the late game. I'm starting to fail at talking, but you know, it's good. I can pull through. And it looks like we have Hiep entering into a very defensive mid game, which is a big turn from his 7-pool opener. And we have, you know, 2 Spinecrawlers coming down, a big switch into roaches that he's not using actually offensively at all. And it looks like we have, a Spire. Oh, that's going to be very, very important for Dswarm. Because Hiep, so far, it looks like he's going to have no idea that this is coming. He has no position on the map, especially with his overlords. And it looks like this is everything that's going to even get sniped out. And Dswarm is doing a wonderful job of just denying information for his opponent, whilst keeping a lot of information for himself. We have some beautiful overlord placement here, you know, here, and basically all the way back to his base. The only small gap in information he has is right here, but other than that, it's basically F3 on the base. We have a little bit of a poke here, but it is going to clean up quite effectively. You really don't want to move into this type of army without that Baneling support to clean up the Zerglings and allow you to start dealing that damage to the Roaches. However, it looks... Actually, wow, both players aren't awful. This is a bit of an awful, but that's okay. Neither player is really, truly sucking it up with their Queen energy. Dswarm is definitely doing it a lot better. However, it's not horrible. And it would appear that Mulisks are about to start pumping out for Dswarm, and these Mulisks are going to be extremely key when we enter into the late game portion of, or the late game phase of this game. There we go. I can words sometimes. It works occasionally. And as soon as these Mutalisks pop out, especially if he manages, oh my god, no, Hiep, you're going for a Spire too. Don't go for a Spire, Hiep. Hiep, your opponent has an extreme tech lead on you. When you're behind in tech, go Infestors, because Infestors are much safer. They get out faster. They're more effective in large numbers. and they managed to clean up and kind of even out a lot of fights that would otherwise go strongly in the other direction. You don't want to go Mutalisks if you don't know that your opponent is not already going Mutalisks, because if these 6 Mutalisks manage to fly across the map and attack with this giant ball of Zerglings, it's not going to be a happy position, especially considering the fact that this drone is moving out and he's going to get ready to take a third base, which is not the best decision at a time like this. However, these 6 Mutalisks, oh, are they actually going to get spotted by the hatchery? Don't get your Mutalisks spotted by your opponent's hatchery. Oh, don't attack the hatchery. Just send your Zerglings. Send your Zerglings. Oh, good. Okay. It looks like... Oh, no. Oh, come on. You send the Zerglings. And then as soon as the army moves out of position, you swing in, you snipe the queen. However, it looks like with this early defense system coming out, we are going to have a couple of Spore Crawlers, and actually, crap, a lot of Spore Crawlers coming down. And that's going to make it extremely difficult for these Mutalisks to do any damage, because there just is not a whole lot of them. He really needed that advantage of surprise to just take down the queen before the second one gets out. However, now with 5 Spore Crawlers on the way, there's not going to be that big of an opening, and it looks like now we even see this engagement happening. And not great micro from these Mutalisks is going to let 1 die, and ouch, that's a big hit to his numbers. That's a 6th of his numbers, and it would appear that Hiep is now yet again in the lead as far as economy and as far as numbers of units goes. Actually, no, he's not in the lead of economy, but he has the superior unit force. So, you know what? Whatever. We're going to shift away from the unit phase, because I think that one's a bit too much information. It makes it less exciting for the game, because you get to see actually the truth. And I try to hide the truth as best as possible. I try to commentate it as it comes up, and that's kind of just how it works. It's way more exciting. And we do have Hiep moving in with a very large... Both players have comparable sizes of the Mutalisk force, and of course fighting on the ground turf of the opponent player is yet again not a good position for any sort of Zerg attack, because your opponent's reinforcements are far, far closer, especially when it comes to a map like Boisterous Plateau that is just freaking massive, and it looks like the Mutalisks are now flying out of the base. Oh, okay, good. You never want to leave the base with your flock of Mutalisks, because before you know it, your opponent has twice as many as you, and they just do 1 glaive shot, and your entire army is dead. However, Hiep, they're both building up your Mutalisk forces at this point. Dswarm is, of course, building this up a little bit faster, and he's also managing to block off the expansion from his opponent. However, it looks like these Mutalisks are going to start being very, very annoying and harassing the Zergling force of his opponent and just kind of forcing it to go back. And oh no, the drone, run drone, run! Oh, well, the Zergling dies for his insolence, and it's going to be pretty rough. That's really annoying. That's like a 20-second delay just to get another drone out there. And oh no, the Mutalisk force. Is it going to go for the drone, or is it going to wait for the hatchery to start building? Oh, please wait for the hatchery. Oh, it's waiting for the hatchery. All right, let's see. Can he one-shot it? Can he one-shot it? Can he one-shot it? Can he one-shot? What's he doing? What is this? What is this foul wizardry? He just revealed his entire Mutalisk force, and it's like, oh, time to go home. Oh, is he trying to pin the Mutalisk force? Can he do it? Oh, they have a pursuit angle. Oh, this is not good for Blue's Mutalisks. Blue's Mutalisks trying to outmaneuver, but oh, 1 goes down. Is the second one going to go down? Yes, a second one is going to go down. Third one is not going to fall. These guys are going to make their way back into their base. However, the number is just much, much lower now. 2 Mutalisks dying without any sort of repercussion. And this is just a Muta air battle, and it looks like Dswarm is in a commanding lead as far as Mutalisks go. But we do see 4 Infestors entering onto the field for Hiep, and that is going to be extremely important. If these Infestors can manage to, just drop these Mutalisks, and these Mutalisks have been camping together a whole lot. 4 Infestors with their energy boost is going to be an easy kill on any clump of Mutalisks that you manage to get. And honestly, these Mutalisks have been microed in such a way that they are going to be clumping up quite a bit and quite easily. We have our bases completing at a comparable time for both of our players. Hiep is a little bit behind, however his 4th is going to be a little bit ahead as its hatchery has started building sooner. But with these Infestors, we're going to see quite an awkward attack whenever the next attack swings on through. Because Dswarm, of course, with the commanding Mutalisk fleet, the absolutely ridiculously commanding Mutalisk fleet, 28 Mutalisks, it would appear. And Hiep, are you trying to bait him in? Oh, bait him in, Hiep. There you go. Oh, here come the Infestors, and Hiep. Oh my god. Okay, alright, you got quite a few. But the Zerglings, no. Oh, so many Infestors are gonna fall here. Just one. One's still a whole lot of Infestors when you think about it in numbers of Infestors. And now, of course, the surprise of the infestors is gone. These Mulisks still being a bit foolish. You should probably hit the S button and let them spread out a little bit. And then, not do that ever again. Never clump them ever again. Ever again. It looks like we have a bit of a swing in, and are they going to get the snipe on the... Oh, great snipe on the first infestor. A little bit of a fungal growth goes down, but there's just too many mules. He's going to be picking off so much of the economy. Oh, Dswarm is going to be able to do a whole ton of damage here. It looks like Hiep has managed to get his own defense up at the 4th base. However, the Zergling Ball, had it just gone for the 3rd base, probably would have been able to do a significant amount of damage. However, we now have so many units out for Hiep, and so many units that are just so good versus these Mutalisks, especially with 5 Hydralisks on the way. I'm not sure if this army... I'm not sure how well these Mutalisks are going to go going into the late game, and it looks like Dswarm is extremely committed. Does he have his Hive yet? No, he does not. He should get his Hive. He should get a tech switch ready. Just into literally anything at all away from Mutalisks is going to be very good, because if you have your opponent and you have them pinned into going Ultra or Hydra Infestor, you can go almost anything, and it's going to be absolutely spectacular. Especially with the unit that I, of course, I support very much, and that is the Ultralisk, who's going to be extremely effective against this type of army. And it looks like actually Mutalisks are pretty good too. All right, well, Mutalisks are just good against everything. I think that's the best decision to be made out of this game. Mutalisks, they just don't care. They're very proud creatures, and they just enjoy killing their own race. And ow, God, why is he sending out units into the open? He does not have the units to spare. However, Hiep has the defense to the point that these Mutalisks are going to require quite a few more numbers before they can start swinging in. And oh, they're clumping so hard. Oh, if only this base had one oh god. Oh, go for the main base, please. One time. It's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna happen one time. This clumping is so ridiculous. Dswarm, why do you do this to me? The clumping, it's insane. I don't understand. It doesn't make any freaking sense. Why would you clump like that? You know your opponent has infestors. You don't clump when your opponent has infestors, especially with infestors and Hydralisks. And there is a beautiful fungal growth. However, the follow-up is not there. There are going to be quite a few Mutalisks going down into the main force here. However, with a nice stop position over the Hydralisks, we are going to see a whole lot of Hydralisks go down. However, it's not quite cost-effective when you count it towards the Mutalisk number, and the economy just isn't good enough for Dswarm to be throwing units away like this, and that's essentially what he's doing at this point. Oh, he's getting quite a few, but honestly, he's not damaging Hiep's economy. Actually, what's Hiep's economy at? Oh, Hiep's economy is crap. Why is the space not saturated? Hiep, what are you doing? There are so many missed chances in this game from both players, but I guess Dswarm wins. I guess. I've been watching way too much MLG lately. Oh, way too much MLG and DreamHack and all that stuff. I've kind of fallen off as far as how these games roll out. And, we see the player again with a stronger macro play, kind of holding his own. Just look at the worker force for Dswarm. He should take his 4th base, however, it's not even really a requirement. He just has such a better economy. If you look at the income, it's absolutely ridiculously tilted towards Dswarm. He's winning commandingly in both minerals and in gas by almost 1/3 or 1/2 of his opponents, I guess. He has 150% of his opponent's economy. And, we see this army starting to build up for Dswarm, and it's just going to be extremely annoying to fight against, because Hiep, he doesn't have the units. We have an Infestor, Zergling, Corruptor, 3 Mutalisk army. It's a little bit weird. I'm not going to fault him for that, though. Sometimes you got to go weird. However, Hiep is in a bad position. Hiep is definitely in a bad position. He has 5 infestors on the way, which will lead up to a total of 6. It looks like an infestor is going to go down here. Is he going to manage to get off these Zerglings? Yeah, he manages to do a lot of damage to a lot of them. However, so many infested parents, and he did just waste all of the energy on every one of his infestors to break out those infested parents, just to DPS the hatchery down a little bit faster. Okay, a lot of it faster, but still, only faster. And it looks like this splitting is actually reasonable for Dswarm. And was that all of the... No, there's still 1 infestor left alive. However, Hiep is just in a super awkward spot. I'm not sure how he got into the spot, because after that opener, he was ahead. He had more drones, he had a better base structure, he had more Zerglings. He was ahead. Going into the mid game, he was ahead. He had, he started out with more drones, and he continued getting more drones. He had an earlier natural. He got canceled once, but it wasn't that bad. He lost 75 minerals there. He had gotten more than 75 minerals just from the time when he was forcing his opponent to defend. And then just moving into the late game, his macro just fell off. Where is the queen? It's probably a full energy. Oh, there is no queen. Oh, he killed all the queens. Awesome. Is there any queen? No, there are no queens. Which I guess is kind of just a show of, where his economy is. The fact that there are no queens at all in his entire base. I mean, that's not good for Zerg. And I'm not quite sure how he fell behind so much in economy. He just didn't build the drones. He stayed so invested into his military that he couldn't do it. And here comes the Infestor Force for Hiep. Oh, good fungal. These are going. Oh, the burrow. And there are the infested Terrans. Oh, but the fungal growth on the burrowed infestors. Bet you didn't think you could do that. This is a crap ton of infestors, and their Hiep has left the game. Congratulations to Dswarm. If you guys would like your games commentated, you can send them on into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. If you'd like to watch any other Boisterous games, you can head over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. Dswarm, confused as to how you won that one, but congratulations. I guess I didn't focus a whole lot on what you were doing, but you were just playing extremely standard Zerg, at least in a Zerg versus Zerg strategy. You got ahead in tech in the early game, and then you built a Spire, and you kind of just pinned your opponent back in his base, and Hiep made a couple big bad decisions as far as building those Mutalisks go. I always, if you're ever behind in tech, or you ever even suspect you're behind in tech in a ZVZ, build Infestors. Because if your opponent goes Infestors and you go Mutalisks, you're gonna die. If you go Mutalisks and they went Mutalisks, you're gonna die. If you go Infestors and they go Infestors, there's a chance there. With good fungal growths, or at least better fungal growths, you can win that game. It's just going to be a little bit hard, and it's going to require a little bit more micro as far as battles go for you, but it's way better to do than this weird Mutalisk swap. Just don't Mutalisk past the aim anymore. If you can't get it up, just don't. Alright. So anyway, guys, this is Boisterous, signing out.